A salary increase of 4.5% is an insult, so say workers in the fishing sector. They're demanding 10.5% after coming down from 15% and threatening to down their nets if their demands are not met. To tell us more, I am now joined by Zolani Mbanjwa, who is the Secretary of Organised Labour. Good morning, Zolani.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
It is only a pleasure. Now, Zolani, why are these employees in the fishing sector so unhappy, and what are their demands specifically?
Let me start by saying these are national negotiations of deep sea, and we've met with the employer for 4 times. Our initial demand was the 15% for 1 year agreement. And the response from the employer against our 15% was a 0% at that stage. We negotiated on the first round of the negotiations. They moved from 3.5 to 3.75, and we moved from 15% to 12%. On day 3 of the negotiations, which was Thursday, the 12th of August 2021, we moved from 12% to 10.5, and business moved to 4.5, of which we are not even sure now if they are going to move, because we've reached now the deadlock, and currently we are in the 14-day period as guided by the section 13(6) of the Constitution, which make provisions for the parties to take an appropriate action to resolve the dispute prior to the dispute resolution process as guided by section 19 of the Constitution. If in these 14 days we are not able to reach an agreement, we will then have to declare a dispute to the CCMA. But the offer that has been presented to us by employers of 4.5 is really an insult to the working class.
Now, Zolani, 4.5 you say is an insult, and 15%, is probably off the table. What is the minimum percentage that you would, be fine with?
Knowing that the fishing operations were declared and classified as essential service during lockdown and have continued to operate throughout the lockdown period, we strongly believe that our members deserve a decent and a reasonable increase. I'm saying this because as organized labor, we've engaged the Minister of Fisheries on a number of occasions. And in doing so, we were trying to make sure that when we're meeting in these negotiations of 2021, the employers are not going to use the COVID-19 as an excuse. Not only the COVID-19. As Labour, we engaged the Minister not to reduce the fishing right quantum allocation. And we have done that successfully in defense of our members and the industry at large. As a result, the total allowable catch for the South African hake deep sea was increased by 10% in 2020. So our members deserve a decent increase. We are looking at something around 8% that we can be able to go and sell, not only sell to our members, but persuade them to take the 8% increase based on these reasons that I've outlined above.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, there has been a revenue growth in this industry, if you take a look at the last 2 years. And would you say that, the employees deserve an increase based on that?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Yes, the latest financials available indicate that the revenue return to CRVS Group for year ending December 31st, 2020 was 375,339,000, with gross profit of 1,480,761. That is Sea Harvest. And we're talking billions here. We're not talking millions. If you go to the Oceana Group, the revenue return to Oceana Group for the 6-month ending period March 31st, 2021, it was 3,567,974,000, with the gross profit of 1,173,097,000. And if you look at that, the stock status, however, remain resilient. And in the early 2021, the South African hake fisheries was certified sustainable by the Marine Stewardship Council, the MCS. The consumer demand in the local and international market for South Africa, it has remained robust. So these employers cannot come in and plead poverty each and every year. And what is hurting the most in these negotiations is to learn that these members are the heart and soul of the production. And they are making sure that even though their lives are at risk at sea, they are making sure that they are at work on a daily basis. One of the things that we've done successfully last year during the lockdown was to convince, was to persuade, was to encourage our members to remain operational, even though things were not good for them.
Sure.
Now it is becoming an insult for employers to say they do not have money to give these employees an increase.